Hello friends, Tal the Tank here, and welcome to a Legion Beta build update video. What I'm going to be talking about today is basically the new beta build that came up on Thursday. I'm recording this on May 20th, 2016. It's a Friday. Obviously, if you've seen my Monday mark, you already know that I wasn't able to go ahead and upload a Warrior Legendary Item video yesterday. I'm not going to be able to upload a Legendary Item video today. Unfortunately, yesterday the Legion beta was offline. And obviously these are the days that I'm working Uber, so I come home at like 6 in the morning and I'm destroyed. I wake up the next day destroyed and I go back to work. It's basically my like mindless days. But I just want to go ahead and make a quick video just talking about the latest beta build, a couple of changes that they've made, and most importantly, I wanted to go ahead and put something up. So the very first and biggest thing about this beta build is that they finally implemented the new talent changing system. Essentially, they want to make talents be more important, but what they're actually doing is making talent changing be a gigantic pain in the ass. You will be required to either be in a city or an inn, basically a rested area, or to drop a war tome of the sharpened mind, which costs a bunch to make. It's like 100 of a pigment, 10 of another pigment, 200 parchment for one of these. It's a big pain in the ass. But essentially they're making so that when you're out leveling, you're really not switching your talents. When you're in a dungeon group or in a raid, you need someone to drop a war tome to switch talents. And it's going to be a giant pain in the ass because whereas before you were able to really switch and customize your character to each situation, or testing different things out. Sometimes you just want to see if maybe a talent in a specific situation is a better choice. Maybe helps you get through a situation. They're making that basically be difficult to near impossible, and it's a bad change. Honestly, in my personal opinion, it's a very negative change. It's going to make testing things very difficult. I can't just switch talents and try something else out. I'm not going to level Inscription or Herbalism up in the beta unless they want to give us a bunch of these for free. It's going to be very difficult to test it out, and I'm going to have to be in the city constantly now when I'm making videos. It's not a good change in my opinion. It's not a good change. If you don't like it, I would definitely say that you guys go ahead and complain about it to the forums. Don't be rude. Don't use bad words. Just try your best to really show why it's a negative change without coming across as an asshole. It's really important to do. I don't like this change at all. I think it's a negative change, and as long as if we put up good arguments against it, I feel like maybe Blizzard will change their mind. But overall, it's a very negative change. If you want to read more about it, just go to Wowhead. You can go ahead and look at this. What Blizzard posted, one of the blues posted is like their explanation of why they're doing it. I don't think it's a good change, but either way. Now we're going to go ahead and go down to the class changes because we are here to talk about tanks, of course. And first of all, let me just go ahead and check something. There we go. I actually recorded this video, half of this video already, and then I realized my mic wasn't on, so it's good to just pop back in, make sure it's all working, and then keep going. So Demon Hunters have some changes. Overall, I would say that their survivability has been nerfed a bit, which is kind of negative when you think about the fact that their survivability already is kind of wonky. All the tanks have a bit of a wonkiness to their survivability, with Guardian Druids and Prot Paladins probably being the best, followed then by Blood DKs and Vengeance Demon Hunters. But it's not. We're gonna have to go ahead and see what happens here. But Demon Spikes, before it was buffed to reduce all damage you take by 8%, increased by mastery, but it's been switched back to be just purely physical mitigation. As well, Demonic Wards has been nerfed to increase your armor by 120%, not 200%. So just flat out physical mitigation, or flat physical mitigation reduced, and then magical mitigation reduced. But then Empower Ward's cooldown has been changed to 20 seconds from 30. So you can use it more often, but it's not going to reduce more damage. It's kind of a bit of a pain there. They're already very squishy tanks. This isn't exactly giving me encouragement to play them. But then again, Fiery Brand and Infernal Strike's fire damage has been increased substantially. And of course, Vengeance Demon Hunters have that trait that when they do fire damage, they can be healed. So it's going to be good that they have more of that healing, because I think right now it's actually not that much healing. But if they're increasing the damage of the fire effects, it'll be really good. As well as Leather Specialization increasing your stamina by 5%. Overall, I think it's a couple of nerfs to the survivability. Even though shear has been increased to 12 pain that it generates, not 10, which is very, very nice. It's been needed. Throw has also been, the damage has been increased and the cooldown has been changed to 4 seconds, so that's also nice. But overall, survivability nerfs to the Vengeance Demon Hunter. It's not too great, not when it's already pretty squishy. Fracture, I think, has been buffed a little bit because now it's taken into account your main and offhand. And as far as, let's see, Soul Carver again has that main and offhand, and I think it's been buffed a little bit and does fire damage, which is nice. Darkness has also been nerfed, so that instead of 30% chance to be hit by spells and melee attacks, it's now 20%, which overall is a nerf. It's still a very powerful ability, which is why it's been nerfed since it's come out. I think originally it was like 50%, then it's 30%, now it's 20%. It's a very powerful ability. There's a reason they keep nerfing it, but I just hope they don't make it so bad that you'll never care about it, which wouldn't be good. So overall, just some survivability nerfs to Demon Hunter. A little bit easier generation of pain when it comes to shear. You don't have to use as many to get as much. It's a minor thing, honestly. Then we go into the blood decays. Marrowren's damage has been increased a little bit. Bloodworms has been nerfed to the ground. It was always the survivability choice, in my opinion, on that tier. And instead of healing you for 20% when they burst, is now going to heal you for 5%, which that's kind of a big deal. I don't know if maybe when you got to a certain crit level on the alpha or the beta realms, you were just keeping yourself alive forever with Bloodworms. I obviously haven't gotten to that level yet where I just have a stupid amount of crit, but going from 20 to 5% is a big, big, big nerf. And then Heartbreaker, which is on the same tier, has been changed to be 3 additional runic power, not 2, which is nice, and it's going to probably make me want to take that more often. Either way now, especially now that Bloodworms has been nerfed a bit. Foul Bulwark is a different talent that's just been changed so that Bone Shield increases your maximum health by 2%, not 3%, so a little bit of a nerf there. There's been a couple artifact trait changes. Biggest ones just being the Unending Thirst is now going to give you 50% leech, and damage dealt by Death Strike is increased by 50%, as well as Consumption doing a substantial boost here to the damage consumption does, which also boosts the healing, which is nice. But other than that, nothing too crazy. It's just a little bit of, it's basically just a nerf to Bloodworms and a little bit of a damage boost to Marrowren and Consumption. As far as Guardian Druids, they've been their cooldowns have been brought a little more in line with the other tanks. I don't think it's going to ultimately dethrone them from the top spot, but it definitely has a couple of changes in store for them. Gore has been reworded, still does the exact same thing. Ironfur and Mark of Ursol have a cooldown of 0.5 seconds, which is like a global cooldown now. And then their talent, Survival of the Fittest, is going to reduce the cooldowns of Barkspin and Survival Instincts by 33%, not 50%. So it's very likely that instead of having a 2-minute or 3, or I think it was 2-minute Survival Instincts, it's going to be like 2.5, maybe even 3 minutes, which is going to bring it more in line with the other tank's shield walls. So just a little bit of a nerf here to all the cooldowns that they have. Rage of the Sleeper has also been changed. It's going to prevent 25% of all damage and reflect it instead of 33%, and it's going to last for 10 seconds, not 20 seconds. So again, just nerfing the big cooldowns of the Guardian Druid to bring them more in line. I think their base kit, though, is still so good that it's not going to matter. They're not targeting the actual big problems Guardian Druids have. They're just targeting some of the big cooldowns and big moments that they'd have available to them. Overall, still very powerful. I think they're still going to be just fine. Coming down here to Brewmaster, just a couple minor changes. Celestial Fortune has been changed to give you an additional 65% of a heal at a chance equal to your critical strike chance instead of duplicating that heal. Probably needed. Celestial Fortune was just really, 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 really powerful. If you're thinking about the types of heals that some healers are going to have, like Holy Priest with the miracles, if that duplicated because of your crit chance, you're talking about more than your health pool probably. Pretty ridiculous. And then Gift of the Mist, which is a talent that affects your Gift of the Ox, has been nerfed to be 60% increased chance to trigger, not 100%. I believe that might be a balancing thing. I think that it was basically chosen all the time. I might be wrong. Please don't quote me on that. But it's been nerfed. It's going to be 60% instead of 100%. Other than that, nothing too crazy. No big changes for Brewmasters. If we look over to Paladins, Protection, it's just a couple PvP talent changes. Some of the artifact traits have been changed. They're going to be including Blessed Hammer as well as Hammer of the Righteous because it replaces that. I mean, Let's see. Righteous Crusader increases damage dealt by Shield of Righteous by 3%, and Shield of Righteous also reduces the damage you take by an additional 0%. So basically, it's just going to be increasing the damage that Shield of Righteous does. Maybe they just haven't settled on an actual percentage, so that'll be changed. But yeah, basically no real changes, just some artifact trait changes for the Protection Paladin. And then we come down to the very, very sad, very, very poor Protection Warrior. What did they change? So Arms got changes, Fury got changes, Protection got PvP changes. Oh, that's interesting. And then Neltharian's Fury, I think maybe got word changes, or the Scales of Earth, which can be caused by the Neltharian's Fury. It's going to be dealing, it looks like more damage. But other than that, nothing much. I really wish they would put some more attention to Protection Warriors. They just need some more cool stuff. They need to be buffed. They need more of a reason to bring them along. Just give them some swag. Give them some flair. As the great Matthew Rothy says, warriors are there to scream and hit things. And I need more screaming and hitting things in my Protection Warrior. Me personally. As far as set bonuses go, it doesn't look like any of the tank set bonuses have changed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, just minor changes to the survivability of the Guardian Druid, because even though they nerfed their big cooldowns, it's still not going to be hitting them where they need it, which is their base kit just being so powerful. And then some decent changes to the mitigation of the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Overall, I would say Demon Hunters are still very squishy tanks. They're a lot of fun to play. They're really cool. They have a very nice style and as I was just saying, the swagger to them, but they are squishy. They definitely are, and they, more than some of the other tanks, they require the artifact traits to keep them up. That's a problem a lot of the tanks have, and in fact, it's a problem a lot of classes have. Artifact traits are nice when they're bonuses, but in a realistic setting, they're not just bonuses. They are expected that you're going to have these things, so it becomes a balancing thing. Which means until you get all your artifact traits, your class just isn't complete. You know, Blood DKs have a lot of traits that affect Vampiric Blood. They're not complete until they get those traits. Demon Hunters, their traits can make them go into Metamorphosis more often, make them heal off fire damage. They're not complete until they get it. Guardian Druids are probably the only ones that have a couple of very passive things with their trait. Things that won't change them too much, just makes them stronger, but it doesn't make them complete. And I feel like that's a bad way to do the balancing, but I mean it's expected. It's just like set bonuses. When your class is pretty shit until they get a set bonus, it's not an accident. It's on purpose, guys. They're trying to make it so when you get the set bonus, you're not stupidly overpowered. But anyways, guys, this has been a quick video here on the latest Legion beta build that has come up. If you guys like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I don't know when I'm going to get the next legendary item video up, but I'm going to try to get them out, maybe even 2 at a time until I finish it up for the next week. But I hope you guys like this. Again, I want to apologize that I wasn't able to upload a video yesterday. I'm going to apologize that I wasn't able to upload a legendary item video today. But of course, as I said, the Uber work, it drains me. It does destroy me, but I need to do it. It's how I make money. And just a quick note, talking about job security here for a second, Uber has started testing out the self-driving cars. Their very first time that they're testing out their own self-driving cars in Pittsburgh. So I feel very confident that my job will exist for maybe a couple of more years, and then I'll be fucked. But it's okay, because hopefully I'll be able to transition to doing some YouTube and streaming, which just to let you guys know, I'll talk about this more on the Monday mark, but I'm feeling that Overwatch. When it comes out, I'm going to be streaming the absolute shit out of it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for your time. I hope you appreciate this video, and I want you all to know I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Have a wonderful day.